That Minotaur is going to be trouble. And he's gonna be worse.
Hey guys, what's going on? It's DPGG from the Destiny 2 community. In this video, I'll give you my first impressions of the Curse of Osiris expansion. It's a realistic view of what the expansion offers us and whether anything in particular holds it back from being an amazing release. As you know, I completely love the franchise, but I think it's healthy to give Bungie some constructive feedback from the community so that they can continue to strive for what's best. But before we begin, I want to thank you for your support. We're almost at 25,000 subscribers and it wouldn't be possible without you. To celebrate the new year and the availability of Destiny 2 on Blizzard's Battle.net, I'm giving away an exclusive Overwatch Diva statue. To be in the running, simply hit the subscribe button and we'll announce the winner at the end of January. Hit the notifications bell so you don't miss out, and we'd appreciate it if you smash the like button if you enjoyed this video. With that said, let's get on with it. Curse of Osiris picks up right where you left off, leading you to the planet of Mercury and into the lore of Vanguard Osiris, working towards a level cap of 25 and a power level of 335. Now we've already seen Mercury in Crucible, so in truth, I was a little skeptical. It has an air of familiarity to it, which would work in a lot of other games' favour, but not for Destiny, where Bungie has the habit of recycling their content willy-nilly. Unfortunately, this is where the art department has failed, because as beautiful as Mercury looks, there's a lot of half-baked elements and recycling going on. Bungie, we want you to maintain your creative edge. This would be healthy for the franchise and help build a sense of immersion we're all looking for when playing Destiny. I kinda wish Bungie had really saved Mercury and Osiris himself for a meaningful Taken King style add-on for next year. The mysticism of it all is just wonderful, and there was a real opportunity here to explore the relationship between Ikora and Osiris, but it's merely touched upon at best. By the same token, we get a really impressive, yet brief glimpse of the Vex Mercury, which kind of looks like a better looking version of a planet from No Man's Sky. Pretty funny and ironic, isn't it? But again, hats off to the people who work on Destiny's visuals. Even on consoles without HDR capability, it looks fantastic. But those recycled parts that do feel meaningful, like the return mission to the EDZ that brings you into a new cool zone, are fleeting. Just like the core release, you can't replay story missions again unless they randomly cycle into the weekly meditation roulette. A lot of the same problems crop up, perhaps best conveyed by the story mission that's literally just a repurposed strike from the game, the Pyramidion. Or the final boss that's basically 3 stages and a battle against existing ads from Destiny 1. Osiris himself, without spoiling too much, is barely touched upon here, and his footprint was more meaningful in the Grimoire cards from the first Destiny than his actual appearance in this new expansion. Osiris' ghost Sagira, voiced by Marina Baccarin of Firefly, and most recently Gotham, is the real star. She takes over your ghost for the purposes of the DLC, then leaves. There's a missed opportunity here, as I wish you could keep her instead of an overly goofy Nolan bot. But let's get to where Osiris truly fails its user base. I have to say, holding the Heroic Strike playlist hostage with the DLC is a bold move. Especially so since there are no modifiers to it at launch, and it's not even much more tuned up than the regular strikes. Perhaps the biggest sin is locking the existing Prestige raid to the DLC. I simply have to ask, why did this happen? Bungie has a habit of gating people to encourage DLC purchases, but the Prestige Leviathan raid was working fine with the base package. But now you need the expansion to play it. As a comparison, this is like if Bungie locked people out of the Vault of Glass hard mode when Crota's End dropped. The fact that it's tied to an achievement that now requires DLC but didn't before, a practice that's very murky, is a sour cherry on top for anyone who isn't upgrading yet. I want to add that Mercury is neither a success as a social section or a sandbox. It is a really tiny circle, and I can see why they turned off Sparrow use to give it the illusion of space. The new public event types show promise, but they're less frequent than Titan's occurrences, and when coupled with the XP nerf for public events, perhaps the most fun part of the game, there's an even less reason to go back to them. After a few runs, I found myself never going back to Mercury for loot again. The very small one-room vendor area is also not a good social space. I'd even take the micro-sized reef if I could. Yet the infinite forest concept for procedural exploration is the most disappointing part of the DLC. Built as a way to up your replay value and a sort of endgame activity, the reality is way more sobering. Not only was it already drilled in my head through the campaign mode, but the forest is actually a linear floating track with generic enemies you've seen before. Your job is to run through each same looking floating area, open a gate, go to the next same looking floating area, and repeat for around 10 minutes until you get to the end, which is one small handful of zones that contain a brief generic objective. There's so much promise here that it's insane. Leaderboards easily could have been added, as well as increasingly difficult modifiers, and maybe, just maybe, a new enemy type for once. Oh, and I did mention that you can't just go to this activity whenever you want, right? No, you need an adventure quest from the Mercury vendor to get in, which further limits the infinite nature of the forest. I think with just several tweaks, it could be worth repeating, and I don't even care about the paltry loot rewards it gives. Destiny 2 started off with a promise, with a strong base and great gunplay, but evolved as its holes and flaws started to perk out of that foundation. The token-based loot system, which isn't fixed yet, is still a major problem, and just cements the fact that Bungie still doesn't know how to properly support a game after its launch. It's still a strong shooter, and I generally enjoyed my time in the campaign, but I have less of a reason to return to it a week later. In conclusion, this idea that Bungie can't possibly provide free big updates is just strange, and something I'd like to see gone from today on. Bungie has a fundamental issue from the top down, and its answer is to enhance the Eververse loot box system. What the hell? Maybe they should focus on enhancing the game even if it's with a paid add-on. I think the community has shown enough dedication and overlooked so many flaws that Bungie owes this one. Let's stay tuned to see how Bungie deals with this in the future. So that brings us to the end of my impressions. Smash the like button if you enjoyed the video, and don't forget to subscribe to be in the running for our exclusive Diva statue giveaway. Until next time, see you in the next video, Guardians.